This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, there's a significant fewer number of new COVID-19 cases today, but the Ministry is recommending further caution. A 100-year-old time capsule has been discovered at Otago Boys High School. And some in Wanaka are wanting to divorce from their local authorities based in neighbouring Queenstown. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. Fewer than 30 new cases of COVID-19 were announced by the Ministry of Health today. Deputy Prime Minister Grant Robertson took time to praise the medical professionals on the front line of the COVID fight.
Director of Public Health Caroline McElnay says there's a significant drop in the number of people who've tested positive for COVID-19.
There are 28 new community cases to report today. 27 in Auckland and 1 in Wellington. The one in Wellington is a close contact of an existing case and was already in a managed isolation and quarantine facility.
She says while today's figures are encouraging, now isn't the time to be complacent, and a continuing lockdown in Auckland is clearly working.
While this fall in today's numbers is encouraging, we are mindful that these outbreaks can have a long tail and we can't afford to become complacent. Ongoing investigations by Auckland Regional Public Health has resulted in the total number of unlinked cases falling from 65 to 31.
This takes the total number of cases in this outbreak to 764, and Dr McElnay says there are 43 COVID patients in hospital with 9 in ICU. Like his leader yesterday, Grant Robertson wouldn't be drawn on an early drop to level 2 for the South Island, but did give insight onto the factors the government would consider when making the decision. When asked how quickly the move to level 2 could happen, Minister Robertson said, "You've seen that we normally give a little bit of notice for a decision like that, but we would do it as quickly as we could." There are still no confirmed cases of COVID-19 Delta in the South Island. In Dunedin, The South Today.
The Dunedin athlete Anna Grimaldi has defended her T47 long jump Paralympic title in Tokyo this afternoon, setting a new Paralympic record in the process. Grimaldi jumped 5.76 metres to claim gold by 9 centimetres from Russian Paralympic Committee jumper Alexandra Mogachia. It completes a 5-year cycle in which the 24-year-old contended with a stress fracture in her foot for 18 months in 2017 and 2018. A message from almost 100 years ago has been uncovered by workers reinforcing the memorial arch at Dunedin's Otago Boys High School. The find has inspired the school to install a time capsule in the arch, showing what the school was like in 2021.
The almost 100-year-old memorial archway at Otago Boys High School in Dunedin is currently being reinforced to avoid warping from the weight of passing traffic. The school's rector Richard Hall says during repairs, workers discovered a short greeting left by the original stonemasons back in 1923.
We found that there was an envelope in there which had the names of the builders and stonemasons who worked on the project originally in 1923. That included a coin, a penny coin from the time period, and the envelope was still in very good nick. You could read and understand the names.
In response to the find, Hall was planning a new time capsule in a PVC tube with wooden stoppers to be placed inside the arch, waiting for the next refurbishment.
It's been made by our woodwork department, and basically we've got a school prospectus, some school photos, an academic blue and some school badges, really just telling the story of what life was like in 2021.
Hall says the archway is an important part of the school's tradition and culture.
It doesn't only signify those old boys who were killed in World War I, it also signifies a rite of passage for our boys when they arrive. So every year 9 is not an OB's boy until he comes through that archway, and on the very last day for our year 13s, They don't leave the school officially until they leave through that archway.
And as for the original letter from 1923, it's set to go on display at the school.
But we're going to retain it for our school archives, make a little display of it, we think.
The 3-month job reinforcing the archway is now close to completion. In Dunedin, the South Today.
University of Otago end-of-year exams are to be held online this year. The university made the decision with the Students' Association as a way of giving students and staff certainty in the current COVID-19 outbreak. There will be a small number of exceptions for some clinical practice exams at the medical school. If final exams take place in Alert Level 2 or lower, students will be able to use an on-campus space. A Wanaka man has started an online petition for the town to get its own council, independent of Queenstown. So far, the petition has garnered more than half of the 1,500 signatures required for the Local Government Commission to take notice.
Wanaka mechanic Dean Rankin wants to see his 10-year-old son, Ethan, grow up in a town free from the shackles of the Queenstown Lakes District Council, which he says are squandering local ratepayers' money on seemingly endless projects using outside contractors.
There's a lot of reasons when you think about it and look around town. We seem to be getting a hell of a lot of money wasted and spent on stuff with projects taking such a long amount of time, and there's no local contractors involved in any of this work going on, which is sort of really disappoints me. Like, to me, it should be we should be keeping our money that we're spending in our community to a certain extent.
Not getting any joy from councillors he said he's spoken to about his concerns of misspending of money, Rankin started an online petition to request the Local Government Commission for a way to make Wanaka become independent and perhaps join with the Central Otago District Council, which is actually where it originated.
This isn't just about me, this is about Wanaka as a community. So yeah, we outline our views and thoughts on what we want, and then we basically go to the Commission and say, hey, well, this is what we're thinking, can you please take a closer look at it? The Commission is there for us, it's not there for the Council, it's not there for the government. The Commission is there to look after us, basically.
Rankin needs 10% of registered voters in the Upper Clutha area to sign the petition, and he says it's already halfway there. But he acknowledges that change won't happen overnight.
The petition is the first step, and it's probably going to be a long, drawn-out road for us to get what we want, but the petition is the first step to basically getting what we need to get the wheels rolling, to see how much local support we have behind it.
In Wanaka, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, an embattled Otago Regional Councillor makes plans to step down. And we talked to a Dunedin funeral director about funerals in lockdown, so catch this and more after the break.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air, and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Campbell Menswear. We have a massive manufacturer's clearance plus. There's liquidated stock from our suppliers. For example, we have cotton casual trousers from 1990, dress trousers from 1990, merino zip pullovers, fashion shirts, warm winter shirts, jackets. There's a great deal on overcoats, blazers and suits. Come and check out our jeans. We're known for our jean selection.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Come in and see the massive manufacturer's clearance at Alex Campbell Menswear.
John's doing his bit to make lockdown better. Lockdown deals, 30 to 50% off while lockdown lasts. Shop online now and save. Pick up later or get delivered with contactless options available at level 3. Lockdown deals. You might be stuck in your bubble, but that doesn't mean you can't shop at My Mate John's. Plus, interest-free payment options available only at mymatejohn.co.nz.
Where'd you get that furniture from? Stafford Street and My Mate John.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Welcome back. Marion Hobbs' time as an Otago Regional Councillor is set to end. The outspoken councillor has only been 2 years in the job, but has promised to step down if government commissioners do not take over the council. Some other councillors have spoken about Hobbs' decision to sign a petition calling for councillors to be ousted and replaced with commissioners. Councillors say Hobbs appeared to be upset because she was not getting her own way, but that was how council decisions went sometimes. The unrest has followed councillors' decisions last week to not note council staff's preferred minimum flows for the Manahirakia River after concerns arose about an incomplete science. When New Zealand went into a snap lockdown last month, it caught many people out. Funeral directors amongst them. Dunedin's Gillian Funeral Service had funerals lined up which had to be cancelled or hastily altered to match government guidelines. The South Today caught up with Keith Gillian, adhering to social distancing protocols.
When New Zealand went into lockdown level 4, it caught many by surprise, including those in the grief care industry. Dunedin's Gillian Funeral Services says services had to be rapidly changed, which many found upsetting.
The most difficult one was the fact that we went into level 4 in a matter of hours, which created great havoc with funerals that were supposed to take place over the next few days, and it put another stressor on families that just was over and above the stresses that they already had.
Keith Gillian says the time frame to go into lockdown for this outbreak of the Delta variant was difficult all round.
So that was very difficult for us and very difficult for the families. Also the little issue with the time frames we were given. They've made mention that we've done it before, so we can do it again. But this time round, they didn't project us far enough in the future as they had last time. We were working on days rather than weeks. And when you've got families looking to find out when they can do something, you're going and you're saying, well, we'll hear in a couple of days' time. It's very difficult for them because we'll hear in a couple of days' time as well, and then we'll have to figure it at that stage.
Most of the country, except Auckland, went into level 3 recently, where you can hold a funeral, tangihanga or burial. Although the government says these services are limited to 10 people, including kai karanga, kai kororo, and members of the clergy or staff who are attending.
As of now, as we'll say, that we're allowed to have 10 people come to a farewell service at our facilities, so we can have a wee service to say goodbye. Fortunately, we do have the technologies to push it around the world and around the town even, so that people can at least participate and see what's happening. We can have viewings of groups of 10, but those up to a group of 10, but they all have to be the same bubble, and that becomes the important part of all this, is that the government this time around are really seeing that bubble as an important part of it. Hence the changes in the chapel here, that we've got bench seats because families can sit together, but we've still got to have them separated.
Gillian says they're managing to work within the governmental guidelines, and are trying to keep everyone happy.
And our pattern of grieving for families is really, really critical, and it's ingrained because we're actually brought up with grieving from children to be able to do these things. So when that's taken away, it creates anxiety, it creates stress, and when we have to move into different patterns with different levels, I think it actually magnifies it. So it's actually becomes more involved and more difficult. And at this point in time, we actually don't know where level 2 is going to be. There's a promise, but we don't know where it is. And we can't really plan, and the families can't really plan.
He says where the COVID restrictions heap more stress on grieving whānau, they've noticed more people taking up the offer of grief care after the funeral or tangihanga has taken place.
And in a way, we can actually have a simple farewell now with 10 people and project forward to a memorial service in the future where we can actually get the family together again, because in reality the most critical part of this is the gathering. It's the sharing of the grief, it's the sharing of the comforting from all the people around you. Part of our service that we provide to people is after grief care. So we've actually got a service provider that contacts people to make sure that they're okay, and that doesn't necessarily have to be just a single person. If there are people within the mix that need the support, there is a mechanism there to do it. As we go forward, I suspect we will need that mechanism more and more.
In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. A United States-based billionaire submits plans for a new luxury lodge build near Wanaka. And will the sun stay with us? Find out as we see what the weekend's weather has in store for you after the break.
John's doing his bit to make lockdown better. Lockdown deals. Shop online now and save. Pick up later or get delivered with contactless options available at level 3.
And my mate John.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Campbell Menswear. We have a massive manufacturer's clearance plus. There's liquidated stock from our suppliers. For example, we have cotton casual trousers from 1990, dress trousers from 1990, merino zip pullovers, fashion shirts, warm winter shirts, jackets. There's a great deal on overcoats, blazers and suits. Come and check out our jeans. We're known for our jean selection.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Come in and see the massive manufacturer's clearance at Alex Campbell Menswear.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Thanks for staying with us. United States-based billionaire Peter Thiel has submitted plans to the local council to build a lodge near Wanaka. The luxury facility is designed to accommodate both the tech billionaire and guests.
Thiel and his husband Matt Danzyson have lodged an application with the Queenstown Lakes District Council to build a complex on the large estate they own at Damper Bay, about 10 minutes drive from Wanaka. The proposed lodge is designed so that the building merges into the landscape while still providing each of the 10 guest rooms uninterrupted north-facing views towards Lake Wanaka and the Southern Alps. Facilities would include a reception, dining rooms, a theatre, offices, a spa treatment room and meditation area. However, some Wanaka locals are intent on fighting the development. 10 years ago, the Upper Clutha Environmental Society and the Wanaka Residents Association stopped controversial plans for 6 houses in the same area. Society President Julian Howarth says he believes the application is being dressed up as visitor accommodation when in fact it will be a private residence. He says the proposed meditation and wellbeing centre is an attempt to secure a much larger development than the one turned down by council commissioners 10 years ago. Peter Thiel was reputed to have made almost $3 billion from early investments in Facebook and PayPal. He was granted New Zealand citizenship 10 years ago, despite having only spent 12 days in the country.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. There's a significantly fewer number of new COVID-19 cases today, but the ministry is recommending further caution. A 100-year-old time capsule has been discovered at Otago Boys High School. And some in Wanaka are wanting to divorce from their local authorities based in neighbouring Queenstown. And time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, daffodils in the Oval in Dunedin. Looking at the situation, mild northwesterly airflow will ease over the weekend with fine weather for most eastern areas. Colder southwesterly winds and more widespread showers will arrive early next week. Starting at the northwest of the South Island, it's a mixed bag here with showers and 14 degrees for Greymouth. Westport also reaches 14 degrees but escapes rain with sun and partial cloud. Moving across to the northeast, it's a sunny spring day here for this region with 17 degrees for both Nelson and Blenheim. Heading down to Canterbury, the sunny weather continues for this region with 16 degrees for Kaikoura. Christchurch and Ashburton head for a high of 17 degrees. And Christchurch can expect a bit of wind as well, so it's going to be a good day for doing the washing. Starting off at the southern towns, it's fresh northwesterlies with cloud for all in this region. The Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore all head for a high of 16 degrees. Moving across to the Central Lakes area, gusty northwesterlies and cloud for nearly everyone here with 16 degrees in Wanaka, 15 degrees in Queenstown, while Alexandra reaches 18 degrees. If in Tiana, you'll need umbrellas as there's rain coming and fresh northerlies with a high of 15 degrees. To the northern towns, moderate to fresh northwesterlies with some high cloud on the coast. Timaru reaches 19 degrees and Oamaru 18. Inland, brace for strong northwesterlies, cloud and a high of 16 degrees for both Twizel and Amarama. In Dunedin, fine tonight with a bit of a breeze and a low of 7. Sunny periods and some high cloud tomorrow, fresh breezy mild northwesterly winds, looking at a high of 17 and a low of 10. High cloud increases and thickens on Sunday with lighter north to northeasterly winds coming in. Cooler temperatures as well, a high of 14 and a low of 8. And in Invercargill, some cloud tonight with fresh westerly winds at times and a low of 10. Milder tomorrow with sunny periods, high cloud and fresh breezy northwesterlies. The northwesterlies may become strong and gusty for a time around the middle of the day. Also a few light showers at times. Looking at a high of 16 and a low of 9. And it's cooler on Sunday with lighter winds but skies still rather cloudy. A high of 14 and a low of 8. That's all from the South Today team for this Friday and indeed the week. For the latest news from across the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. Join Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Remember to like and subscribe to receive notifications of up-to-date content. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.